Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Lady Poe Designs. It's Erin. I hope everybody had a happy Valentine's Day. I've got a few Easter spring thrift flips for you and one scrapwood project. So let's get into it. So I thrifted this little basket. Well, it's actually not a basket. It's a wooden box. But it's got a lot of teak wood on the outside, but it had this floral arrangement in it, and it's in styrofoam. So we're going to go ahead and take all of that out. You can tell it was professionally made because of how the picks were made, but look at that. It's like straight up styrofoam. And it was going to make a mess. So I took it outside and broke it out, got what I could off, and I'm wiping it down. I'm going to take the hardware off. And we're going to go in with the Clear Salvation Solution by DIY and my designated brush for the Salvation Solution because they will wreck your brushes, just letting you know. But we're going to coat this entire box with the Salvation Solution because I don't know where this box came from, so I want to lock everything in. But we're going to do 2 coats of crinoline using our Perfectionist DIY brush. I love this brush. And I wet the bristles. I find that it picks up less paint when you're painting with it, so you use less product. So I always wet my bristles before I start using it. These are little short handle brushes from Mod Podge that I got off of Amazon to get down into the little tight spaces. I love those little brushes. But we're going to do 2 coats of that. And then these are some napkins that I got off of Amazon. Aren't they pretty? This is the other kind. I want to do another project with those. I'm not sure what to do yet. But we're going to put this on basically all of the spots where it looks like teak wood, kind of. So I'm just kind of making a score line with my fingernail. And I'm going to cut that out. And just take off the extra layers. This is just a 2-ply napkin. So I'm going to take off that last ply and just use liquid patina and put down that first layer. And I'm just putting it into those little recessed areas. So just to give it a little interest. And I'm trying to cut out like the bunny heads and and I'm being careful of where I'm putting the liquid patina because where it doesn't stick, I'm going to go back and cut off the excess napkin. So if it does overlap, I'll be able to cut it off. So I'm going to continue to do that. I'm going to lay down the napkin again, see what little bunny I want, lay that one down, and see everywhere where it's recessed, except for that little middle stripe. Because that's metal. I'm going to wet distress that back. I do it on the sides as well. So I go in one with my knife once it's dry, because if you try to do this when it's wet, it's just going to rip the napkin all to pieces. So once it's dry, I take off all the excess, and then I'm going to go back in and make sure all the edges are laid down with liquid patina. And I'm going to put the hardware back on. And then take a baby wipe, and I'm going to wet distress back that little strip right there. It's almost like a metal, I don't know really what it is, but it's got little ridges on it, you can see. So we're going to take the white DIY wax and do a coat over the entire box. So this will seal all of the DIY paint that I didn't put the liquid patina on. And plus it'll smoke out anywhere where it sits down into the recesses, so it'll make it look antique. So we're going to completely cover the box and seal it. But wiping that back. And I love how this box came out. You can leave it like this, you can open it and put florals back in it. The English ivy that were in it were absolutely adorable. I still have those and I'm still going to use them. But I think it looks cute like this. But tell me what y'all think in the comments. So I got these the antique thread spindles. I don't even know what they're called. Are they called spindles? Spools? I got these off of Etsy a long time ago, and there's a few different kinds in here. So I'm just going to take out 4 of them, and I'm going to use Firestarter, Summer Crush, and Cake Batter. And I'm going to paint 3 of them and leave 1 of them just the raw wood. But you could probably guess what we're making with them. I know everybody's done it with these. I've never made them before, but we're going to make some carrots. But we're going to put 2 coats of each color on 1 of the spools. So that was the Summer Crush. Now we're going in with Firestarter. The first one was Cake Batter. And this is just, it's called Foliage. I got it from Dollar Tree a long time ago, but to me it just looked the closest to what the top of a carrot would look like. But first I'm going to take just some regular jute twine and fill in where that metal part is, just to make it not have that big recess in it. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? I'm trying to cover up some of the metal. But I'm going to go in and fill in the little hole at the top, and then I'm just going to shove those in the top. But look how cute. That was the one that I left plain, and I'm just going to repeat that to all 4 of them. And I'm going to burn the little fuzzies off of the twine. And this is how they came out. I stuck them in that little basket, and I just think they're so cute. I've seen everybody else make them, and I wanted some of my own. But have y'all ever made any of these? Let me know in the comments. Okay, so this is the scrap wood project. So I have a bunch of scrap wood, as y'all know. This is my hardwood pile, and they come like this. They're in little strips like this. That's where I get them off of Facebook Marketplace. He gives them to me in little boards like that. So I press them together with wood glue and clamps. This is one of the $3 cutting boards from Dollar Tree. Sorry about my hair that's in the picture. But I'm just kind of using that as like a template. And I'm going to take them outside and cut them. So bring them back in. I've got them cut down, sanded. I decided not to drill a hole in the top. That's just personal preference. But we're going to use a paint inlay. It's the Vita Floral one. This one kind of scared me because I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit afraid of bright colors. So when they came out with this, I was kind of like, eh. But y'all, oh my gosh. I opened this paint inlay and these are absolutely gorgeous. So I'm cutting apart the ones that I'm going to use, right? I'm going to go in with Dark and Decrepit by DIY and stain the boards first. I just wanted them a darker color. I think the colors will pop better off of a darker wood. So I'm just using plain Dark and Decrepit for the stain. I'm just putting it on there, wiping it off, and then we're going in with the Liquid Patina, and I'm going to coat the entire board just to seal that in. Because we're going to be laying these down with Liquid Patina. So you can see there's a grid side and then there's your paint side. So I spray the paint side of the inlay and then set that aside And then I'm going to use my liquid patina and put a layer down, fairly thick, healthy, not a large amount, but healthy. But you want to wet them beforehand because you want the paper and everything to start opening up. So I wet it and set it aside and then lay my paint down, or whatever you're laying it into, in this case liquid patina. So I'm going to lay it down and see it doesn't stick immediately. You can see I can pull it up. It's not sticking. So I put it down. I'm going to use my brayer from Iron Orchid Designs, and it doesn't have to be from them. You can use any kind of brayer, but what I'm doing is I'm pushing from the inside out, and I'm pushing all of that liquid patina, the excess, I'm pushing it to the corners of the paper, if that makes sense. So there won't be any bubbles, there won't be any wrinkles, anything. So I did all of that. I'm going to lay down one of the butterflies now. And you can see they're wet. You can tell that the paper is wet because it's see-through. When these are dry, you'll see they'll become a little bit white. And I just repeat that process. I'll put a layer of the liquid patina down, and I'll lay the paint inlay paint side down. I have done it grid side up. Trust me, everybody's done it. For the little ones, I just rubbed it in with my finger. I didn't want to get the liquid patina all over the brayer. And just for good measure, I went back and spritzed just a little bit of water and then dabbed it off. You don't have to, especially with a bonder. And then I'm going to repeat the process for the second one. Now, the difference between a bonder and paint with paint inlays, the bonder, you have about a 5 to 8 minute window to pull these back up. If you leave them overnight and let them dry, you are going to have this stuck to your board. That's what it's made to do, right? It's made to bond. It doesn't work the same as paint. In paint, you can leave it all night. So I'm going back and wetting them after they've sat for about 8 minutes. And I'm dabbing off the excess water. So I'm going to take part of it. Look how gorgeous. Oh my gosh. I am so happy with these. The colors in these inlays are stunning. And I give you a close-up right here. Look at this. So this is the second board. I'm going to wet it again, dab off the extra, and wait about 30 seconds, and you can feel it. You can feel that it's stuck, and then when you go to lift up a corner, it literally just releases. If you get any resistance, spray a little bit more water on it and dab it off and let it sit for a minute and then peel it off. When I set those aside, because I can use those again, so I'm going to set those aside to let them dry, I'm going to very carefully put some liquid patina over the painted areas. Now, since I sat these down in liquid patina, they're not going to smear as easily, but oh my gosh, y'all. Like I said, I went and cleared both boards after I put a top coat on all of the painted areas. I put a finishing coat on the entire board just so you don't see any lines. But these came out absolutely stunning. I'm so happy with these. I'm absolutely blown away by this inlay. I did not think that I would like it this much, but let me know if y'all have tried this inlay and let me know what y'all think in the comments. Okay, so this is just an ordinary wooden tray. It actually has a lid, and it had a puzzle in it for a kid. I got a box of these. We're going to use a white salvation solution and cover the entire thing, right? I got a box from this elementary school of all wooden puzzles. So y'all are going to see a lot of these boxes, and they're all sizes and all shapes. So be prepared. We're going to use the Dainty Flourishes mold by IOD. And we're going to put some interest on this plain little old box. We're going to use our DOS clay, and I've used my cornstarch, and we're going to just press it in there. Y'all know, by now, if y'all have watched my videos, y'all know how to press clay into a mold. Just press your thumb against the micro rim on that mold. Make sure it's flat. And I'm just going to make everything that I know that I'm going to need and that I'm going to put on this box. So I'm going to put 2 of these little corner pieces on each corner. So I made 8 of them. And that right there, it has a little top piece on it, but you don't have to make the whole mold. So I just wanted that little medallion to put on the side. So I made 2 of those. And then 2 of the little swirly things. And then 4 of the other swirly, it's a technical term, swirly things. Trust me. Then I'm going to go in with my Titebond and start laying everything down. So, and I know it was so hard to get these in frame and not set the box down on all of my castings and crush them. So there's a lot of this that isn't in frame very well, so I apologize. But you can tell that I'm just putting these on the corners just to give the corners that definition. There's a little medallion. I'm going to put that in the middle of both sides. And then the little swirly thingies. See? Swirly things. And I literally just cut those in half because of how long they were. I didn't make 4 of those. I just cut it in half and used the other half of it on the other side. And then put those down there. And then we're going to go in with vintage linen. That's just an empty DIY paint can. I think it's from Kissing Booth. But we're going to put a bunch of vintage linen and a bunch of salt wash in there. Because if I mix too much, I can just put the lid on that and it will keep. So I want this to have a lot of texture, so I'm putting this on very liberally. I do get a shot in here. You can see the texture that I'm getting on it. I want it to almost look like stone, right? So I'm going to take the little snowmen from Dollar Tree, and these are going to be my legs. So I'm also going to do the stippling on the bottom as well. I want that texture all over. We're going to use the Butterfly Masterboard by Roycycled Treasure. I love this paper. Sammie has this in stock right now. I get all of my DIY, IOD, and Roycycle products from Sammie and Saltwash. So go to her website. I'll have her website linked down below. But using the Liquid Patina, we're going to set down our starter strip and give it a spray and smooth that out. Some people use cellophane. I use my fingers. It's whatever you want to do. You do what's comfortable for you. And we're just going to keep going. Lay down the patina and spread it out. And I don't get any wrinkles doing it like this. So I'm going to go all the way across. And then we're going to seal that in with liquid patina and make sure the corners are sealed down. So again, with the liquid patina, we're going to go over the entire tray because we're going to go in with another technique that I wanted to try. So we're going to try French Millinery, which is my favorite color. I love this color. And I'm taking out very little. And I'm going to take my water and I'm going to water this down a lot. I'm also going to bring in that little blue. So we're going to use some Alchemy Wax. I've got Heather Hills, White Pearl, and what's that? Lucky Emerald. I couldn't remember that one. But what we're going to do is with the French Millinery, this is very, very, very watered down. So I'm basically going to be doing this just like I would apply like white wax or the dark wax. I'm going to let this settle in all of the cracks, all of the molds, everything. and then wipe it off, because I want this to settle in all of that texture. I want this to be in all the molds. I want it to look old, and I want it to look like it used to be painted this color, but it has worn off significantly. So I do this over the entire tray. So it almost looks kind of like periwinkle if you look at it. But it's not. It's still white. It came out very interesting. I love the way it came out. But I also do the bottom because, of course, I have to make everything finished. And I kind of dabbed it at some points to kind of marble it out. So I'm going to go in with the liquid patina and I'm going to lock all of that in because I don't want that to move, right? Because I like the way it looks. If I put anything else on it, any kind of waxes, I don't want that to lift. With our Starbond super glue, we're going to glue down the little feet. So those aren't going anywhere. Now the heather heels, when you put those on white, it's very, very subtle, and literally the camera does not do it justice, y'all. But this turned out so pretty. And I'm going to go in with the emerald because I wanted to tie in that butterfly right there. So I put it on the corners and on the little leaves right there. But look how this turned out. I am in love with this tray. I cannot say enough. I'm lost for words because of how happy I am how this tray turned out. I absolutely love it. Tell me what y'all think in the comments. So for our last little bitty project, I've got a little rabbit that my husband made me on our 3D printer. So we're going to take cake batter and give him a couple of coats of cake batter. I don't know why I chose cake batter. It's just what I wanted to do. And then we're going to take some clear DIY wax and cover him in that. This one's really fast, y'all. So I just cover him in the the clear DIY wax. And then I'm going to get the dark and decrepit dust and go back, and I'm going to purposely place some extra wax in certain places where I would think dust would naturally fall or he would get dirty outside, like on his cheeks and on his nose and on his feet and his armpits where he's been digging in the mud. I put some on his little tail, on his bum, on the bottom of his feet. When he's all dried, I brush off the excess with a dry brush. And he looks like he's been sitting out in the garden for quite a while, but I think he's absolutely adorable. I love him. Tell me what y'all think about my little friend. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. I so appreciate every one of you. You don't know how much y'all mean to me. Tell me what y'all think about the projects in the comments. Remember to like, subscribe, and if you could, please share this out to your friends and family who you think would like it. And as always, y'all are beautiful and you can do hard things. Thanks, guys. Bye.